Hare Krishna devotees, thank you for joining today. So we will begin our session today after reciting the Mangalacharan prayers. I have displayed the Mangalacharan prayers here. We'll recite these prayers one after the other. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. So here is the first mantra is offered for as a pranama to Guru. Guru appears in one's life by the mercy of Krishna, and he opens up the eyes which are covered by darkness of ignorance of the Supreme Lord and one's own self. So the Guru bears the torchlight and he shines that for us to reveal the spiritual world. And this is an offering to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is the founder of our movement, Hare Krishna movement. And this is glorification of Panchatattva, reciting their names. Panchatattva starting from Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, Gadadhara, Srivasa and other devotees. They are the founders of this particular Sampradaya, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So we offer them respects. And this is the Hare Krishna mantra, the mantra that is revealed for the Kali Yuga people to take advantage of it and go back home, back to Godhead. And finally, we offer our respects to all the Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas, without Vaishnavas, we cannot get bhakti. So we offer our respects to the Vaishnavas. Now we will enter into the subject matter. Krishna, in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says this beautiful verse, Mat chitta mat gata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Mat chittaha mat gata pranaha. Mat chittaha. The devotees, in their heart, they are always thinking about Krishna. And their heart is fully endowed with the qualities, pastimes, names of Krishna. And continuously they live their life like that. From morning to evening they think about the Lord. Madgata prana. So they don't have any life other than the Supreme Lord. They have invested their whole life into Krishna. So what do? Bodhayantah parasparam. They interact with each other, these devotees, and they remind each other of the different various qualities of Krishna. Bodhayantah parasparam. Kathayantascha mam nityam. They talk about Krishna all the time. Nityam. Kathayantascha. It's Krishna katha. They talk all the time. And by this, what they do? Tushyanti cha, ramanti cha. They enjoy transcendental bliss. Tushyanti. They become very happy and they delight in it. That is what they do. So we as sadhakas, we also follow after their footsteps. These are the devotees who are continuously talking about Krishna. When they attain prema, even the sadhakas who are following the path laid by these great devotees, we also try to follow. So we should discuss about Krishna every day. We should remind each other of Krishna every day. And in this way, we should relish it. So when we are discussing any pastime of the Lord, the goal is that we should develop taste for that. We should start being absorbed in that. Just like when we watch a movie, we become engrossed in it. We forget our current life. we just become fully absorbed in that particular movie for that time duration. Similarly, when we are discussing the pastimes of the Lord, we should become fully absorbed in it. We should experience it. When Krishna is experiencing happiness, we should also feel happiness. When Krishna's friends are experiencing sadness because of Krishna's absence, we should also feel sad. In this way, we will become nicely engrossed in the katha of the Lord. And that will give us the highest bliss, and that will save us from this material world. Krishna says, Dukkhalayam asaswatam. This whole world is dukkha, filled with miseries. How are we going to get out of these miseries? We are continuing to live here. Standing in the shore of the ocean, if we shout at the ocean that stop the waves, it is not going to stop the waves. Similarly, being in the material world, one after another misery is coming to our life. And if we just shout at them back, we are not going to get rid of that. So we have to absorb ourselves in the transcendental world. We have to absorb ourselves in the katha of the Lord. And that is going to give us happiness. Let's read the translation. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So today what we are going to discuss is a specific pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as you know, is a scholar in Sanskrit. He displays himself as a scholar in Sanskrit. He is non-different from Krishna. He is the Supreme Lord, so he knows obviously everything. But when he comes to the material world displaying a particular form, he displays certain qualities, certain nature. When he comes as Krishna, he has certain likings, certain dislikes, and certain nature. He projects that. Krishna likes to play on flute. He plays that all the time. Krishna likes to herd the cows. He does that all the time. Similarly, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, he displays himself as a scholar, a very learned scholar in Vedic literatures and Sanskrit. So this pastime is portraying that aspect of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So our goal here is to get absorbed in that pastime. I do not know how much of that pastime we will be able to complete in this lecture, but it doesn't matter whether we complete it or not. Our goal is to become absorbed in every verse we are going to read. That is going to reveal the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself appeared in Kali Yuga for bringing out the holy names of the Lord as the main process. He wants to preach that as the main process for the people of Kali Yuga. And also he wants to reveal the love of Radha and Krishna to the most fallen people of Kali Yuga. So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes has been described in Chaitanya Charitamrita in 3 different set of volumes. The first set of volume is Adi Leela. The second set of volume is Madhya Leela. The third set of volumes is Antya Leela. Adi Leela describes about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's first 24 years. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was totally present in this world for 48 years. After that, he unmanifested himself. 48 years he was manifest in this world. So he was born as a small baby, and then he grew up, and then he became a youthful person, and then at the age of 20, he got also married, and then after that at the age of 24 he took sannyas. And after he took sannyas, his other pastimes are all described in Madhya Leela and Antya Leela. So the rest 24 years. First 24 years he was in childhood, boyhood, youth and family life. The next 24 years he was a complete sannyasi. He spent his time. And his main aim was to preach Krishna consciousness throughout the world. So when he was in his youth, he was a proud scholar. he displayed his scholarship everywhere. People used to get scared of him in Navadvip. When he walks around, all of the scholars, they used to hide themselves because they cannot win any argument with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Any subject you pick up, he will defeat them left, right and center. So at that time, when he was displaying his scholarship in Navadvipa, there was a Pandit called Keshav Kashmiri who visited Navadvipa. Keshav Kashmiri is a very learned scholar, as we will be seeing here. And he is called Digvijay. He has got the award Digvijay. Digvijay means he has won all directions. There is no one else who could win him in his scholarship. So this Digvijay, Keshav Kashmiri, is visiting Navadvip. And his encounter with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is what we are going to see today. The whole subject matter is little advanced because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is displaying his scholarship here, Sanskrit scholarship. It's going to be little bit Sanskrit things are going to come forth in the pastime. We will see as much as possible. We can chew whatever we can. We'll start with this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 16. Vrindavan dasaiha koriya chen vistar sputanagi kore dosha gunera bichar. Vrindavan Dasa Thakura has previously elaborately described this. That which is clear need not be scrutinized for good qualities and false. Shey angsha ko hitare kori namaskar jashuni digbijai koilo apan dhikkar. Offering my obeisances to Srila Vrindavana Dasa Thakura, I shall try to describe that portion of the Lord's analysis which, when he heard it, made the Digvijayi feel himself condemned. So this pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Nimai, now he is called Nimai, later he will be called Chaitanya when he has taken in sannyasa. So now he has not taken sannyasa, he is in his family life and he is displaying himself as a Sanskrit scholar and he is walking around in Navadvip. He also has his own patashala. He is teaching students there in Navadvip. So this whole pastime has been described by Vrindavana Dasa Thakura in another work called Chaitanya Bhagavat. Now, our author Krishna Dasa Kaviraja Goswami, who wrote this Chaitanya Charitamrita, is offering obeisances to Vrindavana Das Thakur because Vrindavana Das Thakur has previously written pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later, after some time, Krishna Das Kaviraja Goswami is writing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So he first offers obeisances to his senior who has described it nicely, and then he says the same pastime. Just like when we hear it from our Guru, after hearing it from our Guru, we want to narrate the same pastime that we have heard from our Guru to others. This is called chewing. So, the Guru has tasted the nectar. When you are speaking about Krishna, that is nectar in itself. That nectar, when he has tasted and given us, we should also taste it. That means we also share it with others. So this is what Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami here it is doing. Though Vrindavan Das Thakur has written all the pastimes in Chaitanya Bhagavat, he is rewriting this pastime as he is also chewing the same nectar. Jyotsna bhoti ratri prabhu shishagon sange boshiya chen ganga tire vidyara prasange. Once on a full moon night, the Lord was sitting on the bank of the Ganges with his many disciples and discussing literary topics. So Nimai, our Nimai Pandit, was sitting on the bank of the Ganga and he was teaching his disciples Sanskrit and other works. And at that time, with our Digvijay Pandit, who is Keshav Kashmiri, is going to enter the scene. And this was a full moon night. It was a night scene. হেনা কালে দিগ্বিজয়ী তাহানি আইলা গঙ্গারে বন্দন করি প্রভুরে মিলিলা. Coincidentally, Keshav Kashmiri Pandita came there. While offering his prayers to Mother Ganges, he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So at that time, Digvijay. So here in the Bengali verse, the name of the Pandit is not mentioned. But as Prabhupada will point out, that his name is Keshav Kashmiri. So this Keshav Kashmiri, who is from Kashmir, he got the title Digvijay. He has won all the direction in scholarship. So he is coming to Ganga, where Mahaprabhu or Nimai is there. He is actually coming to Ganga to perform his Vandan, worship of Ganga. So at that time he is meeting Nimai. Boshaila tare Prabhu adar koriya Digvijayi kohe mone abagga koriya. The Lord received him with adoration, but because Keshav Kashmiri was very proud, he talked to the Lord very inconsiderately. So, one thing that can come with any opulence that we possess is pride. We can become very proud. A pauper is proud of his penny. We can become proud of anything. I have good scholarship in Sanskrit, I can become proud. I am doing the most humblest service in the temple, cleaning the floors, I can become proud of that as well. And I am conducting big programs and a lot of people come to my program, I can become proud. I have a lot of followers or a lot of YouTube views, I can become proud. I can become proud of anything. I am very beautiful, I can become proud. I have a lot of wealth, I can become proud. So I can become proud of anything. So here, our Keshav Kashmiri Pandit, Digvijay Pandit, he has become very proud of his own scholarship. And he is meeting Mahaprabhu. And as soon as he met Nimai, he actually disrespected him in his mind. So he has previously heard about Nimai Pandit. Oh, Nimai Pandit teaches Sanskrit grammar. That's it. So there are multiple levels. You have this, first is Sanskrit grammar. Those days when you go to school, you study first is Sanskrit grammar. Then after studying and mastering Sanskrit grammar, then you study a subject called Alankar. And then you can study different subjects. Mahaprabhu is teaching Sanskrit. So he considered this, Nimai is actually teaching the basic things. So I won't respect it. Naturally. So why does pride arise? When we have a good quality, and then when somebody who does not have that good quality comes near us, we look at them with a contempt feeling. So those who are junior to us in any opulence, we don't treat them well. That's when we display our pride. We become very proud of our thing, and then we want to just show off. What is this guy? I don't need to respect this person. He is lower than me. So that thought process will capture our mind and absorb ourselves in that pride. So the solution for pride, removing pride, is that we treat the juniors nicely. We don't treat them as if that they are lesser than me. We treat them nicely. Of course, for example, when you are teaching Krishna consciousness to somebody who is new, you are aware that you know more than them. But we don't treat them with a contempt or with a pride mentality. We should treat them properly and with a friendly attitude. So here, Digvijay or Keshav Kashmiri, he thought that Nimai is actually a small boy in scholarship. He doesn't know much like me. I know so much. That is why he was very proud. ব্যাকরণ পড়াহা নিমাই পণ্ডিত তোমার নাম বাল্য শাস্ত্রে লোকে তোমার কোহে গুণগ্রাম. I understand that you are a teacher of grammar, he said, and that your name is Nimai Pandit. People speak very highly of your teaching of beginner's grammar. So previously it was decided that this Digvijay Pandit will meet with Nimai Pandit to debate on topics. So, knowing that, he is actually here, he is saying that you are actually teaching Balya Shastra. Balya Shastra means like childhood elementary education. That's what it is. Elementary education. You are teaching kindergarten kids, and I have done PhD. Uh, Playing the other player down. So what you can do when you are competing with somebody in a tournament, you can create fear in their heart by playing their level down. So this is a psychological attack. So you just psychologically attack. If you cannot directly win, you first psychologically bring the person down, and he will have low self-esteem about himself. Then he will start making mistakes everywhere in the tournament. So here he is trying to put Nimai down. And of course, Mahaprabhu Nimai was actually teaching grammar, and grammar in those days is considered like a Balya Shastra. These days, grammar is very difficult because most people are finding it difficult to study Sanskrit grammar. But those days, it was like beginner's education, because first you need to understand grammar, Sanskrit grammar, then the whole Shastra is open for you. Without understanding the Sanskrit grammar, Shastra's subtle meanings and all, one cannot grasp it correctly. So, that everybody were studying Sanskrit first nicely. So Sanskrit grammar is said to be the beginner's education those time. So Nimai Pandit was teaching that. So he is just deriding Nimai, saying that you are just teaching this elementary education. I heard that you are teaching this elementary education, as if saying a general statement. He is actually playing him down. व्याकरण मध्ये जानी पढ़ाह कलापा शुनिलुन पांकिते तोमार शिष्येर समलापा. So if you have any questions or comments or reflections, feel free to raise your hand and we can discuss. Otherwise, I'm going to go forward. Hare Krishna, Anshumata ji, welcome. I understand that you teach Kalapa Vyakaran. I have heard that your students are very expert in the word jugglery of this grammar. So he is saying Mahaprabhu has learned Kalapa grammar. So Sanskrit grammar can be taught in many different ways. One particular path is Kalapa, and one other particular path is Panini. Our Jiva Goswami also has a written Sanskrit grammar using his own sutras, which actually glorify the Lord. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita purport, Prabhupada says that if you learn Harinamamrita Vyakaran, which is composed by Jiva Goswami, you can not only learn Sanskrit, you can also learn Krishna consciousness very nicely. So he has put all the teachings in a Krishna conscious way. So Mahaprabhu was learning Kalapa grammar. So he was teaching Kalapa grammar. He was expert in that. Nowadays, in general, people study Panini's grammar. And the devotees, or actually many of the devotees are studying Harinamamrita Vyakaranam written by Jiva Goswami. So he says that, you are holding conversations in elementary education. Samlapa is, like conversations. I heard that you are holding these conversations and you seem to be answering some complex questions in the elementary education. So he's still continuing to play down Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai. Prabhu kohe vyakaran padai abhiman kori shishye te na bhuje ami bhujaite nari. The Lord said, yes, I am known as a teacher of grammar. But factually, I cannot impress my students with grammatical knowledge, nor can they understand me very well. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding that this Keshav Kashmiri is very proud, he is taking a very humble position. So this is the way to correct a person who is proud. If a person is very proud and is displaying his arrogancy, we don't go on to show our arrogancy in front of them and then just try to put them down. That will just annoy the person, and he will get more agitated. Not only he will get more agitated, if we are not really expert, he will defeat us back. So this is not good. So we will see that time and again when Mahaprabhu meets a person who is very proud, he actually, especially in scholarship, he actually takes a very humble position. And then he says that I am a fool. He projects himself like a fool. Though he is the Supreme Lord, he knows everything. But he projects himself like that. Then later, when he wins their heart, he then wins their pride as well. He will do like that. So here, Nimai is actually saying that, yeah, I am actually a Vyakaran teacher, but I cannot even impress my own students. They don't even understand what I'm actually trying to say. So I cannot even make them understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm just a poor teacher kind of a thing. But actually many people were trying to join Nimai's school to study under Nimai, because first of all, everybody is naturally attracted by Krishna. And now here, not only that, you can study under Krishna. Who would not want that opportunity to be there? So everybody was trying their best to get into Nimai school. Kaha tumi sharva shastre kavitva pravina, kaha mi sobe shishu poduya navina. My dear sir, whereas you are a very learned scholar in all sorts of scriptures and are very much experienced in composing poetry, I am only a boy, a new student, and nothing more. So you say, you are actually you are so expert in kavitva. Kavitva means composing poetry. To compose poetry is not, nowadays, of course, we compose a lot of poetry. But poetry is not just a combination of some words. I'll just write some words together, a sentence, that doesn't become poetry. Poetry also doesn't mean that, I will just add alliteration at the end, like rhyming words at the end, then it will be considered a poetry. And no, especially in Sanskrit, it is actually very difficult to compose poetry. You need to know first Sanskrit grammar nicely. Then you need to know Chanda Shastra, which says that how every syllable in a particular chanda is governed and how it should appear. Then you should also learn Alankara Shastra. Alankara Shastra is how you decorate your words. Without words, without decoration is not so useful. When the people hear the poetry, they should feel chamatkar, wonder. Wow, I have never heard like this. That is poetry. So Mahaprabhu is saying that, oh, Digvijay Pandit, you are very expert in this poetry, Kavitva. You know every Shastra very nicely. But where am I? I'm just a small boy, baby. He uses the word Shishu. I'm a small baby. Padaya Navina, I'm like a new student, a new person on the corner of scholarship. I am nothing, no one to be considered. So Mahaprabhu is taking very, very humble position. Tomar kavita kichu shunite hoy mon, kripa kori koro jyoti gangar varnan. Therefore, I desire to hear your skill in composing poetry. We could hear this if you would mercifully describe the glory of Mother Ganges. So here, Mahaprabhu is saying, I desire to hear your poetry. You look like you compose very nice poetry. I have heard about you. I would like to hear your poetry. If possible, please recite some poetry about Ganga, because they are standing on the bank of Ganga in the night time. And Ganga looks beautiful. So he is asking him to describe about Ganga in his poetry. Kripa Kori. He says, please be merciful and then show me your skill to me. Shuniya Brahman Gorbe Barnita Lagila Ghati Eke Shota Shloka Gangara Barnila. Then hearing this, Keshav Kashmiri thought, this person whom I am supposed to debate with in the future, he is glorifying me like anything, and he is saying he himself is a very small boy. He became very proud, even further proud, and he wants to now show off his skills. So this is, if you want to actually insult a person who is very proud, the way to insult the person is do atistuti. Atistuti means over glorification. So you glorify him too much. He will actually think himself like that, but people are making fool of himself. So we also need to be careful. Sometimes people do atistuti. If we just get carried away by atistuti, over glorification, we will just make a fool of ourselves. So when he heard the words of Nimai, he actually started reciting verses for Ganga, newly composed verses. He wasn't reading. He didn't, memorize some of the verses and then came here and then started reciting it. No. On the spot, he composed new verses in Sanskrit, following the Chanda Sastra, with alankars in it, with the decorations in it, everything very beautifully. What has happened? Within 1 hour. So Gati also means one muhurta, which is like 24 minutes. It can mean 1 hour or it can mean 24 minutes. So within that, half an hour to 1 hour, he actually composed 100 verses. Very, very difficult task. So I know Sanskrit and it takes like an hour or so to compose one verse. Now here we see a person within that time, he has composed 100 verses and he has added embellishments of those verses. And on a new topic, Ganga, just on the spot, Mahaprabhu asked him to compose about Ganga. He has composed quite good. New topic is given. First, what we will do, we'll just go to the internet and then we'll do some research in Google. Nowadays, ChatGPT is there. We'll ask it to give me some information. Then we'll actually try to write poetry about it. But here, on the spot, he was delivering. So he was really a scholar, Digvijay. That's what he was able to win everybody around the world. So he was able to produce those many verses newly composed on the spot. So how he was able to produce that? There is a verse composed by Sri Vedanta Desika in a work called Yadava Bhyudaya, the rise of a Yadava. That is about Krishna's pastimes. So Krishna is rising up, he is a Yadava. So in that work, he has composed a verse. We look at that verse. This verse actually captures who is a Kavi or who is a poet. Sa kavi katyate srashta ramate yatra bharati rasa bhava guni bhutair alankarair gunodayaihi. Saha kavihi katyate. So that person is called Kavi. Who is that person? Srashta. He is a creator. He should be able to create. He is a very creative person. He creates the whole world. So if you read very nice kavyas created by these pandits, you would get absorbed in their kavya. He is creating a whole new world for you. In modern days, we have a lot of cinema directors who are very professional in their tech. They can just completely absorb you in their cinema. So like that previously, the poets used to be those, technical person. And they create such nice kavyas that when people read it, they get it fully absorbed it. So they create a new world for you. Even these days also we have people are so much addicted for Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, all these different novels, because they are able to capture the audience attention. So here, that person is a creator. You should be having very creative power. Ramate yatra bharati. Saraswati should be satisfied with that person, because Saraswati, Bharati means Saraswati. Saraswati is the goddess of learning. She should bless that person very nicely. Here, not only it says bless, it says Ramate Yatra. She should play with that person. Which means she thinks that this is my person, and she just goes and possesses him. Then that person is able to attract others' mind, others' heart. When we read their work, some people's work, we just get completely captured by it. We just, wow, what a work they have written. That is because of goddess of learning, Saraswati, blesses them. Rasa bhava guni bhutaihi alankaraihi gunodayaihi. So he should this Saraswati blesses them with all these things. Rasa means how you nicely portray different characters, and out of these characters interaction, what this rasa that comes out, what bliss comes out for the audience who is reading. Different interactions, different alankars, different decorations you do, and different way to capture the audience attention. All these things are blessed by Saraswati. So that person is a Kavi. And as we see that here, that this Digvijayi is blessed by Saraswati. Later we will also see, if time permits, he is personally blessed by Saraswati. Therefore he was able to compose verses. Open his mouth, the verse will come out. He doesn't need to sit and I'll just try to compose a verse. After some time I will come back. Oh, one word is not fitting here. Let me try to find out what word I can fit it here. No, not like that. Open his mouth, verses flow out. Shunia korilo Prabhu bahut satkar, Toma somo pritibite kobi nahiyar. The Lord praised him, saying, there is no greater poet than you in the entire world. So, Mahaprabhu praised him very nicely. Of course, he is a very good scholar. Within 24 minutes, he was able to recite 100 verses. That's almost like within 1 minute, you need to recite 4 verses, not less than 4 verses. 1 minute, which means every 15 seconds you are composing a verse. Not only you are composing a verse, you are reciting it. So if you just recite a verse, that will take 10 seconds. So he's every 15 seconds, not only is he reciting a verse, he is composing a verse also. It's quite an astonishing thing to do. So he says, I don't see anybody like you in the entire world, he says, Mahaprabhu, Nimai. Toma, so there is no wonder this person has become very puffed up. তোমার কবিতা শ্লোক বুঝিতে কার শক্তি তুমি বাল জান অর্থ কিবা সরস্বতী. Your poetry is so difficult that no one can understand it but you and Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning. So here Nimai is also trying to play him down using a sarcastic word here. You have composed so nice poem that nobody else can understand, only you and Saraswati can understand. It is like some director has made a very nice movie and then he wants to present it to the entire audience. And then you go on to say to that, he has created that movie for a mass audience. And you go to the director and then say, you have such a movie you have created, only award winners can understand it. That will be an insult for that person. He has created a movie for a mass people cannot understand. It is just award-winning movie. Only the people who are giving award can understand. It may be an insult for that person. Like that, here Mahaprabhu is using sarcastic word. You are composed very nicely that only you can understand and your Saraswati can understand it. So Prabhupada points out this, subtle things in the conversations in his purport, because Prabhupada is also a very witty person. If you see the conversations of Prabhupada, you will be amazed by Prabhupada's wittiness. If somebody gives an argument, he immediately gives a reply. And that reply will create a wonder in the other person, like that. A very witty person. So he understands how these arguments work. So he brings out all these beautiful things in his purport. I'm just not reading the purport for the time's sake, but I'm just bringing it out. এক শ্লোকের অর্থ যদি করো নিজ মুখে শুনি সব লোক তবে পাইব বড় সুখে. But if you explain the meaning of one verse, we can all hear it from your own mouth and thus be very happy. So Mahaprabhu is saying, you have recited 100 verses, but if you can explain one verse out of that, then we will be very happy. You have recited it, but you please explain the verse nicely to us, so we'll all become very happy about it. So he says, one shloka. তবে দিগ্বিজয়ী ব্যাখ্যার শ্লোক পুছিল, শত শ্লোকের এক শ্লোক প্রভুত পড়িল. The Digvijayi Keshav Kashmiri inquired which verse he wanted explained. The Lord then recited one of the 100 verses Keshav Kashmiri has composed. Now Keshav Kashmiri is again trying to play Nimai down. Nimai, you are asking me which verse, you are asking me to explain one verse. Okay, now I'll just put a trick on you. Tell me which verse I should explain. Obviously, if you are explaining every 15 seconds one verse, if you are just reciting and then you recited 100 verses in 24 minutes, you're asking the person who is sitting on the listener side, Which verse you want to explain? Huh? That means, they will obviously say, I don't know which verse to even say that because I don't even remember. Huh? So he's just playing a trick on Nimai. Tell me which verse you want to explain. First of all, that person not only should have paid full attention, he should have also captured that verse in his mind. And if it is a normal person, he would be very afraid to even give a reply to this question. So Digvijay Pandit is taking every of his chance to psychologically attack the opponent here. But Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. He has captured one verse out of that entire verses. Keshav Kashmiri has narrated like a wind, like a tornado. He just narrated all the verses and then recited all the verses, and Mahaprabhu has captured one of the verses there. This is that verse. We'll recite it. Mahatvam Gangaya Satatamidama Bhati Nitaram Yadesha Shri Vishnos Charana Kamalotpatti Subhaga Dvitiya Shri Lakshmir Ivasura Narairarcha Charana Bhavani Bharturya Shirasi Vibhavat Yadbhuta Guna Mahatvam Gangaya Satatamidama Bhati Nitaram Yadesha Shri Vishnosh Charana Kamalotpatti Subhaga Dvitiya Shri Lakshmir Ivasura Narairarcha Charana Bhavani Bharturya Shirasi Vibhavat Adbhuta Guna. The greatness of Mother Ganges always brilliantly exists. She is the most fortunate because she emanated from the lotus feet of Sri Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. She is a second goddess of fortune, and therefore she is always worshipped both by demigods and by humanity. Endowed with all wonderful qualities, she flourishes on the head of Lord Shiva. So this verse will be analyzed in this particular pastime. So we'll first analyze ourselves. Mahatvam Gangayaha, Ganga's Mahatva. So he is narrating the Mahatva of Ganga. In between one verse he has composed this. So what he says, this glorification which I am narrating in front of you of Ganga, let it shine always. Abhati Nitaram, let it shine without any comparison to it. Uniquely let it shine. That is what he is saying. Yad Yeshav Shri Vishnoho Charana Kamala Utpatti Subhaga. Why it has to shine, the glory of the Ganga? Because it has arisen from the lotus feet of Shri Vishnu. Ganga comes from the lotus feet of Shri Vishnu. It is the washed water of Vishnu's lotus feet. Therefore, she should be glorified. So here also he uses a particular alankar. We talked about decoration. So usually in the Ganga's water we will see lotuses floating around. But here Ganga has arisen from the lotus feet of the Lord. So the Ganga water is coming from the lotus rather than the lotus is present on the Ganga. So this is a decoration of the word. This is a play of the word. So he has done that here. In that composition, every 15 seconds he has to compose a verse. He has put this beautiful thing there as well. Dvitiya Shri Lakshmi Iva Suranaraihi Archa Charana. So the feet of Ganga is being worshipped by all the demigods, Suras and Naras. Nara means humans. See, he plays with the word Sura, Nara. Both demigods and the human beings. They are worshipping her feet as if she were the second Lakshmi. So Vishnu's consort is Lakshmi. They are glorifying and worshipping Ganga as if she is actually another Lakshmi to Vishnu, another wife of Vishnu. Like that they are glorifying. Bhavani Bhartuhu. Bhavani means Parvati. Bhartu means husband of Parvati. Husband of Parvati is Lord Shiva. So Bhavani Bhartugu Sirasi, in the head of Lord Shiva, she is actually flourishing. Why? When Maharaj, what is his name? It's a very nice word. Bhagirath. So Maharaj Bhagirath, when he wanted to bring Ganga to this earth from the heavenly planets, he actually did lot of tapasya. This is actually multi-generational tapasya. His grandfather's father wanted to bring the Ganga to the earth. He failed. Then his son failed. His son failed. Then Bhagirath came, and then Bhagirath actually brought Ganga to the earth. For that, he has to do lot of different tapasyas to satisfy different people. Because when he satisfied Ganga to come here, Ganga cannot simply come. Ganga is very forceful. If it comes directly, the earth will just not stay. So she said that you satisfy Shiva, and then Shiva will hold me in the hair, and then I can come down like that. So he has to satisfy Shiva, and then there was a clash between Shiva and Ganga, and then he has to again satisfy Shiva. There are so many things that has happened. So from there, Ganga is coming. So Shiva is holding the entire Ganga in his head before it drops down to earthly realm. So here he says, you are flourishing in the Shiva's head. You have such beautiful qualities. You are endowed with beautiful qualities. That is what he is saying here. Very beautiful verse he has composed. Especially, we will see that Mahaprabhu will start pointing out qualities, good qualities and faults in this poem. এই শ্লোকের অর্থ করো প্রভু যদি বইল বিস্মিত হইয়া দিগ্বিজয়ী প্রভুরে পুছিল. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him to explain the meaning of this verse, the champion, very much astonished, inquired from him as follows. So Digvijay, the Keshav Kashmiri, was very much astonished. We have recited 100 verses like tornado, and then this guy has captured a verse within that. And he has memorized it, and then he is repeating it. He must be also not a normal person. So he is not understanding. Remember this, It's very difficult to memorize Sanskrit verses. You have to recite it multiple times here. And then these are all newly composed verses on the spot. And capturing it in his head is not humanly possible. Janjabat pray ami shloka podila tara madhe shloka tumi koiche konta koila. I recited all the verses like the blowing wind. How could you completely learn by heart even one among those verses? So he's saying, I'm like Janjabata, like a storm. I was just going around with the verses. How did you even capture one verse out of that, and then you memorized it also? Kante koila. You kept in your throat. How did you do that? He was astonished about Nimai. প্রভু কহে দেবের বারে তুমি কবি বর আইছে দেবের বারে কেহ হই শ্রুতিধর. The Lord replied, by the grace of the Lord, someone may become a great poet. And similarly, by His grace, someone else become a great Shrutidar who can memorize anything immediately. So he says, you are a Kavivar. Why you are a Kavivar? You have satisfied your Devata. Who is that? Saraswati. You have satisfied Saraswati nicely. Therefore, you have become Kavivar, best of the Kavis. Similarly, if somebody else satisfies the same Devata, they can also become Shrutidar. Shrutidar means once you hear it, you will just remember it. You don't need to memorize it again. That person is called Shrutidar. Especially before Kali Yuga, many people were like Shrutidars. They just hear from the Vedas from their Guru, and then they will just keep in their mind. There is no return. Vyasadeva was the first one to write the Vedas down for the people of Kali Yuga, in the beginning of Kali Yuga. Before that, huge volumes of Vedas, Puranas and everything. They were like the Guru will tell to the disciple, and the disciple will just keep it in his head. Everything. So that is Shrutidar. So he says that if somebody else satisfies same goddess of fortune, they can also become Shrutidar. So there is no problem in that, he says. Shloker orto koilo viprapaya santosh Prabhu kohe koho shloker kiba gunadosh. Satisfied by the statement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Brahmana, Keshav Kashmiri, explained the quoted verse. Then the Lord said, now kindly explain the special qualities and faults in this verse. So he was very happy that, okay, he's an able student. He is able to listen to my poems, and he is also asking, I will explain it nicely. He has explained the verse meaning very nicely. Then now Mahaprabhu started putting twist. So he's saying, okay, that is fine, but now can you explain guna and dosha of this poem? Guna means good qualities, dosha means faults in the poem. Please explain that, he's saying. Viprakohe shloke nahi dosher abhas upama alankar guna kichu anupras. The Brahmana replied, there is not a tinge of fault in that verse. Rather, it has the good qualities of similes and alliteration. So he says that there is not even a tinge of fault is there. Dosher abhas. Abhas means slight thing. When the sun comes in the sky and then the clouds go and cover the sun, still the sunlight comes through the cloud, and that is like abhas. That is not sun, that is the abhas of the sun. Okay, like little bit it comes out. It represents sun, but it is not sun. So that is what? Even a representative fault of dosha, or the representative fault is not there in my verse. Very confidently, very proudly he is speaking. But in terms of good qualities, it has good qualities. Upama alankar is there, and anupras is there. We look at the verse. Let me open that verse in another tab. Oops, what happened? Mahatvam Gangaya Chaitanya Charitamrita. So here what our Keshav Kashmiri has mentioned is Upama Alankar is there. Upama means comparison or a simile or a metaphor. Okay. So if you look at it here, he is compared the lotus feet of the Lord to lotus. That is a comparison. And then he has compared Ganga to Lakshmi, Dvitiya Lakshmi. These are all comparisons, metaphors to be used. These are one of the decorations to be used when you are reciting, when you are composing poems. Kichu, anupras. Some anupras is there. Anupras is alliteration, rhyming. For example, if you look at the last line, bha, bhavani, bha, bhartur, and then vibha, bha is there. Adbhu, bhu. So here the consonant bha, 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 bha keep on repeating. That is called anupras. So he purposefully composed like that. Expert poets can on the spot compose with alankars also like that. So is that anupras is there, some anupras is there, some upama metaphors are there. There is no fault. Don't talk about it. He says like that. Prabhu ko hen kohi jyoti na karaharosh kohatomar shloke kiba ache dosh. The Lord said, my dear sir, I may say something to you if you will not become angry. Can you explain the faults in this verse? So here Mahaprabhu is still taking very humble position. He saying, please don't get angry. But there are some faults in this verse. I see that faults are there in this verse. Please explain that. Don't, without becoming angry. So you need to deal with the persons who are very puffed up in a very humble way. You cannot go and agitate them further. That is not going to be fruitful preaching. If you are preaching to somebody, don't agitate their ego. When you are actually talking about Krishna consciousness to them, look at them with deep concern for them. Then whatever you are preaching to them will touch their heart. If words are spoken out of pride, or to defeat the other person, then the other person will accept me. If we think like that, that's not going to work. We have to have a deep concern for that other person. How do I bring that person to Krishna? You have to touch their heart first. Then you can bring their mind to Krishna. So like that, deep concern for others to bring them to Krishna. Then that will work. So Mahaprabhu has deep concern for this Digvijay Pandit to make him a devotee. So therefore he is playing it very safe. प्रतिभार काव्य तोमार देवता संतोषे बालमते विचारिले जानी गुण दोषे. There is no doubt that your poetry is full of ingenuity and certainly it has satisfied the Supreme Lord. Yet, if we scrutinizingly consider it, we can find both good qualities and faults. So you say pratibha. Pratibha means ability to compose new things. So this is a very important quality for any creative person. If you are in a creative field, working in movie industry or art industry, you need to be a very, very creative person. You need to produce new things that people have not seen. Then people will value you. So that is called pratibha. So here he says, your pratibha of the kavya you have composed, the poetry you have composed, there is ingenuity in that poetry. Using that ingenuity, you have satisfied your devata, Tomar devata, that is Saraswati. You have satisfied your devata Saraswati very nicely. But Bhalamate, if with very good intelligence, if you inspect it, you will see actually there is both good qualities and faults. Guna and dosha, both are there. Not only guna, dosha is also there. There is fault also. You have very nicely composed. Your devata is satisfied, but still there are faults in that verse. Fault. Tate bhal korishlo korogo bichar kobi kohe je kohilo she bedashar. The Lord concluded, now therefore let us carefully scrutinize this verse. This is not purport, this is actually translation. Somehow it is showing up like purport here. The poet replied, yes, the verse you have recited is perfectly correct. He says that, please inspect your verse again and tell me what faults are there, what qualities are there. So Mahaprabhu's main thing is that he wants to curb the pride of Digvijay Pandit and make him a devotee. That is what he is trying to do here. So he is just touching his pride, now and then. Our Kavi has not given up his pride. He says, Jay Kohilo, Shay Vedashar, whatever you have told, it's like Vedas. It's so good. No faults in that. Very confident. Vyakaraniya tumi nahi podo alankar, tumi ki jani boy, ye kabiter shar. You are an ordinary student of grammar. What do you know about literary embellishments? You cannot review this poetry because you don't know anything about it. So he says, Vyakaraniya tumi, you are a Sanskrit person, Sanskrit teacher. What do you know about Alankar? Alankar is decoration of the words. First is Sanskrit, grammar. Then you learn about how to decorate your words later. That itself is a very vast subject. So many volumes have been written on that, Alankar. So, you are just a Vyakaran teacher. What do you know about Alankar? You don't know anything, essence of Kavita at all, poetry at all. He is again trying to downplay Nimai here. Of course, there is a truth in it, as Prabhupada will say in the purport, that if a person is not expert in a particular subject, he cannot critically review it. If I am not expert in movie, how the movie making works and what kind of things and all come out in movie, how the characters are depicted, I cannot review that movie. I cannot review movies. I need to be a very expert to review a movie. Of course, I can just give my own opinion. But if you want to be like a very scholarly opinion on a particular movie, then you need to know how the movie making process works. Similarly, if you want to speak about a poetry, you should be an expert poet. So that is why he's saying, you are not a poet, you are just a grammar person. You don't know anything. He's downplaying Nimai. प्रभु कोहेन अतेब पुचिए तो मारे बिचारिया गुण दोष बुझा amare. Taking a humble position, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, because I am not on your level, I have asked you to teach me by explaining the false and good qualities in your poetry. He says, therefore, that is why I am asking you. You are saying that I am a fool. Yes, I am a fool only. So therefore, you teach me. Tell me what are all the false and good qualities in your poetry. Nahi podi alankar koriya chishraban tate ei shloke deki bahu dosha gun. Certainly, I have not studied the art of literary embellishments, but I have heard about it from higher circles, and thus I can review this verse and find in it many false and many good qualities. He says that, of course, I did not study Alankar. I have heard from the people who have studied it. Therefore, I see false and gunas, good qualities in this verse you have composed. So this also shows the importance of hearing, that through hearing we learn a lot. We need to study, our own study of the literatures has to be done. Sometimes if we are not finding taste in chanting, there are two things we need to improve. One is association with the devotees. Association with the devotees means hearing from them. And then the second thing is we have to read ourselves as well as a daily thing, especially Krishna's pastimes or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. If we read those pastimes, it will attract our heart. Then taste in chanting will come. And also be means associate with the people who have that taste. The more elevated the devotee, the more taste you will get it. So association means hearing from them. So hearing is very important. So here Mahaprabhu says, I have heard about Alankar and all. So I can see. I have not studied it, but I have heard it. Kobi kahe koho tumi koho deki kon guna dosh Prabhu kohen kohi shuna na kori harosh. So the poet said, all right, let me see what good qualities and faults you have found. The Lord replied, let me speak and please hear me without becoming angry. This is a critical conversation. There are many topics in modern day corporate world that they take critical conversation. How do you hold critical conversations? Especially when the other person is emotionally agitated. How do you speak? How do you have proper conversation with them? There are steps to follow. If I just go on to blabber anything coming out of my mouth, that person will get more agitated. And so you need to know the techniques. So here Mahaprabhu is taking, one of the techniques is you have to be very humble. Be very humble, and then he says, no, I'll tell. This poet is actually saying, see, let's see what you have got. Let me hear what you have to say. And Prabhu said, please don't get angry. I will tell what I am supposed to say. Panchadosha Aishloke Pancha Alankar Kreme Ami Kohi Shuno Korogo Bichar. My dear sir, in this verse there are 5 false and 5 literary ornaments. I shall state them one after another. Kindly hear me and then give me your judgment. So he says there are 5 faults, Pancha dosha, 5 doshas and 5 alankars. So I will tell in order, you please listen. So in poetry, these alankars have to be carefully used. There are rules that one need to follow. Without following rules, a poet cannot compose. Otherwise, anybody can compose poems, right? You need to follow the rules properly. And if you don't follow the rules properly, because I forgot I have to follow that rule. There are thousands of rules. I forgot one rule here. Then people will point out, see, you broke this rule, like that. Of course, there is no, as Mahaprabhu will later say, there is no poem without fault. This Digvijay has mentioned, my poem is free of any fault. Therefore, Mahaprabhu is showing, no, there are faults. Every poem, he says later that even poems of Jayadeva Goswami has faults. So, Bhavabhuti, Kalidas, these are all big shots. Kalidas is called as Indian Shakespeare. His poems are very nice. Of course, people in India, they say that actually Kalidas is not Indian Shakespeare. Shakespeare is Western Kalidas. So Kalidas's poetry is very amazing. People are just mesmerized by Kalidas's poetry. But Mahaprabhu says even in his poems there are faults. Without faults it's difficult to compose because we are humans. We are very, very tiny. We cannot compose anything without remembering everything. Therefore, one needs to be very, very humble. Here, of course, we don't do gross mistakes, but if you are like an expert scholar, you make subtle mistakes. Here, Mahaprabhu will point out all the subtle mistakes that the poet has done. He claimed that there is no fault. Now it's going to tell that. It's a little technical. We'll try to go through as much as possible. Abhimrishta bidheyangsha duitai chikhna birudamati bhagnakrama punaratat doshtina. In this world, the fault of avimrishta vidheyangsha occurs twice, and the faults of viruddhamati, bhagnakrama and punarata occur one each. So first he is listing out the faults. There is a fault called avimrishta vidheyangsha. Then that occurs twice in the shloka. Then you have viruddhamati. Then you have bhagnakrama. Then you have punarata. Avimrishta vidheyangsha is little complicated. The other are little easier. Viruddhamati, we will see as Mahaprabhu is explaining this one. But viruddhamati means contrary. Viruddha is contrary. Mati means the intelligence. It confuses your intelligence like that. Something which confuses your intelligence. Bhagna krama, broken order. The krama is arranged nicely, but then somewhere you have broke it. Punarata. Punarata means unnecessarily you are telling it. Like for example, if I say the Prime Minister of India is Narendra Modi. And he is the first minister or the most important minister. There is no point in saying that. I have already stated that prime minister. Then I don't need to say he is the topmost minister. That's a redundant word. Prime minister means he is prime. Already is mentioned there. So this is punarata. Punarata means unnecessarily repeating the words. So he says these are the faults that are existing in the poem. Gangara mahatva shloke mula bide idam shabde anubad pache abide. So here in the verse mahatvam gangaya satatam itama bhati nitaram. So this is the first line. He is finding out a fault in the first line of the verse. Gangaya, mahatvam gangaya, the glories of Ganga. Satatam, always. Idam, this glory of Ganga. Abhati nitaram, let it shine all the time. Uniquely, that is what he is saying. But here the word idam refers to this. That he is narrating this glorification of Ganga. Mahatma means glorification of Ganga. This he has used it here. And then Mahatvam Gangayaha, he has used it in the front. Mahatvam Gangayaha is called Vidheya, and this is called Anuvada. Anuvada means that which is continuing a sentence. For example, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, or let's take Prabhupada. Prabhupada is the founder of ISKCON. That is one statement. Now in the next statement, if I say, he is 80 years old. So the first statement is Prabhupada is founder of ISKCON. The second statement, I have used the pronoun he. That he is referring to whom? Not any random person. I already mentioned who is that person referring to in the first sentence. That is Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is the founder of ISKCON. He is 80 years old. Everybody understands he means it is actually referring to Prabhupada. I don't need to say. So this he is called Anuvad. Anuvad means it is following after the previous sentence. So in this case, idam is anuvad. Idam is anuvad means it is saying this glorification. What glorification? So far I have recited the glorification of Ganga. 100 verses I was just reciting. That glorification, idam, he is saying, that is anuvad. Then Mahatvam Gangaya is Vidheya. This, when you say he, when I say in that statement that Prabhupada is the founder of ISKCON, then in the next statement I say he is 80 years old. When I said the first statement, Prabhupada is the founder of ISKCON, you know, oh, Prabhupada is the founder of ISKCON. But you do not know anything other than that about Prabhupada. So in the next statement, when I say he is, you're waiting for what is that new information that he is going to give about Prabhupada. I say he is 80 years old. Oh, he is 80 years old. So you are getting that information. So this 80 years old is called Videya, which is unknown, which is not previously mentioned. So I am mentioning it to you. He, however, is Anuvad. It is just connecting the previous statement. So idam is connecting the previous statement, Anuvad. Mahatvam Gangayaha, that is unknown thing. This glorification of Ganga, this. Immediately you are expecting what is the next one. He is saying glorification of Ganga. Oh, glorification of Ganga you are talking about. Okay, so that is called Videya. So he has used Anuman and Videya. Videya aage ko hi pache ko hi le anubad ei lagi shloker arto koriya che bad. Because you have placed the known subject at the end and that which is unknown at the beginning, the composition is faulty and the meaning of the words has become doubtful. So there is a rule that says that you have to use the anuvad first, then you have to use the videya. In a statement, if I say Prabhupada is the founder of ISKCON and then I say 80-year-old man is Prabhupada. It is correct statement, but as soon as I say second statement 80-year-old man, you would be thinking whether I am continuing the previous sentence or I am starting a new information about somebody else who is 80 years old. I am talking about. There is a confusion when I am especially slowly speaking. There is a confusion that is created in your mind. So therefore, they say don't start sentence like that. Start a sentence like he is 80 years old rather than 80 years old is he. The same thing applies here as well. Idam should have come first. Idam Mahatvam Gangaya. Mahatvam Gangaya should have come second. But he has just swapped it. And this is a fault. That fault name in Sanskrit is called Avimrishta Vidheyangsha. That Vidheya is misplaced. It's not correctly placed. Anuvadam anutvaiva na vidheyam udirayet nahi ablabdhas padam kinchit kutrachit pratitishtati. Without first mentioning what is known, one should not introduce the unknown. For that which has no solid basis can never be established anywhere. So just like when you are walking, first you take one step and then, keep your leg firmly in the next position, then you lift off your next leg. You don't simply jump both legs and then just jump there like that. Because you do not know the next place is strong enough to hold your feet or not, especially if you are walking in a sandy place, which is very, which is a lot of mud is there. You very carefully, or a lot of, fungus is there. Not fungus, what is that? Algae is there. You very carefully keep your leg to ensure, okay, this is holding it correctly. Then you lift your other leg and then you'll put. So similarly, when you are making a statement, you have to maintain the continuity, connectivity. If you just place here and there words, people will get confused what you are speaking. So here it says, first say Anuvada, that which is continuing the previous sentence. That is in this sentence, he is, you should place that first. Then you put unknown thing, that it is, he is 80 years old man. That should come next. This is quoted from Ekadashi Tattva. That is the first fault. Avimrishta Vidhyangsa. That has occurred twice. First time you have mentioned. The second time it occurs is Ditiya Shri Lakshmi. Ihan Ditiyatva Bide Samase Gaun Hoilo Shabdartha Ge Lakhoe. In the word Dvitiya Shri Lakshmi, the quality of being a second Lakshmi is the unknown. In making this compound word, the meaning becomes secondary and originally intended meaning was lost. Same problem here in Dvitiya Shri Lakshmi. He has used Dvitiya Shri Lakshmi. So Dvitiya means second Shri Lakshmi. As soon as I say second, you will think, what is he talking about? Second of whom? Immediately that question comes in your mind, because this is Vidheya. Shri Lakshmi, second of Shri Lakshmi. So Shri Lakshmi should come first. Otherwise you are creating the same confusion. Shri Lakshmi second. Then, oh, Shri Lakshmi second. We'll see that when Hanuman comes from Lanka after meeting Sita Devi, and he comes to Lord Ram to meet. Lord Ram is waiting for so many months to know whether Sita is alive or not. Nobody knew whether Sita is even alive or not. All throughout the way, he gathers some evidences that Sita is somewhere there, probably there, might be there. Nobody has seen whether Sita is alive or not. So Hanuman was the first person who has gone to Lanka, and then he came back. Now he has to reveal this information to Lord Ram. It's very, very important. First, if he says, Sita is alive, if he says, it will create a lot of confusion in Lord Ram. Sita, he said, oh, is Sita alive? Or Sita is dead? Or Sita is not there? He didn't find? What is about Sita? When he says Sita, Ram will go mad. What is about Sita? He wants to know. So, the important thing has to be said first. So, Hanuman said, alive is Sita, he said. Alive. Okay, immediately Ram is, aware. Okay, Sita is alive. Okay. Then he says about Sita. So, the important thing has to be placed first. If you change the order, people will get confused. So, here he has done the same fault. Avimrishta Vidheyangsha. Ditiya Shabda Bide Taha Podila Samase Lakira Shamatartha Korila Binashe. Because the word Ditiya is the unknown, in its combination in this compound word, the intended meaning of equality with Lakshmi is lost. Abhimishta Bideyangsha E Dosher Nam Ar Ek Dosh Ache Shuna Shabadan. Not only there is the fault of Avimrishta Vidheyangsha, but there is also another fault, which I shall point out to you. Kindly hear me with great attention. So he is pointing out the next fault. So let's see. Bhavani Bhartar Shabda Dilaye Paya Shantosh Viruddhamati Kritnam Ye Mahadosh. Here is another great fault. You have arranged the word Bhavani Bhartar to your great satisfaction, but this betrays the fault of contradiction. Here is the used word Bhavani Bhartur. Bhavani means Parvati, Bhartu means husband of Parvati, which is Shiva. So he wants to say that in the head of Shiva, Ganga is playing around, flourishing. So he has used the word Bhavani Bhartu. He says this word is Vruddhamati. It is creating contrary conception in the head. It is a great fault. The previous faults are okay, but this one is a great fault, he says. What is that fault? Bhavani Shabde Kohe Mahadever Grihni Tara Bharta Kohile Ditiya Bharta Jani. The word Bhavani means the wife of Lord Shiva. But when we mention her husband, one might conclude that she has another husband. So the word Bhava means Shiva. That is referring to Shiva. Shiva is called Bhava. Bhavani means wife of Shiva. So Bhavani means wife of Shiva. Bhavani Bhartu means Bharta means husband. So the husband of the wife of the Shiva, in his head, Ganga is flourishing. So it is like a boyfriend is standing there and his girlfriend is coming to him. And then she says, this rose is from the boyfriend of your girlfriend. If she says like that, that guy will get confused. Oh my God, She's actually coming to say that she's breaking up with me. Huh? You'll get too much confused. So what she want to actually say is, this rose you have given me last year, I'm just preserving this rose flower, even though it is dried out, very nicely, because I remember you. So this rose is from you, who you are my boyfriend. That is what I'm saying. This is from the boyfriend of your girlfriend. Your girlfriend is me and my boyfriend is you. So I have received it from you. But if she goes and says that this rose is from the boyfriend of your girlfriend, he'll get confused. He'll say, what have I done? What faults have I done? So these words will confuse. Similarly, he has used the same kind of words. He says, the Ganga is flourishing in the husband of the wife of the Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva's wife, her husband. You might think that there is some other husband for Shiva's wife. That is Viruddhamati. That is a great contradiction. How can he say a statement like that? Shiva patnir bhartaiga shunite viruddhamati krit shabda shastre noha shuddha. It is contradictory to hear that Lord Shiva's wife has another husband. The use of such words in literature creates the fault called viruddhamati krit. It is a great fault. So, here he gives another example. Brahman patnir bhartar hoste deho dan shabda shunite hoy ditya bharta gyan. If someone says, place this charity in the hand of the husband of the wife of the Brahmana, when we hear these contradictory words, we immediately understand that the Brahmana's wife has another husband. Same statement, like what we saw in boyfriend and girlfriend. If somebody speaks like this, people will get confused. Life problems can happen. Okay, so because it is 8:27, we'll stop here. To conclude this, you can read this entire pastime. It's a very beautiful pastime, and we'll see that how the reactions of Digvijay Pandit. This is a very beautiful reaction he gives. He becomes stunned after hearing all these explanations. Not only he becomes stunned, his words don't come out from his mouth. So we previously saw that he was able to compose 100 verses in 24 minutes. Every 15 seconds he was composing a verse. Now, after hearing all these things, words were not coming out of his mouth. He was thinking, what have I done fault? He did not think Nimai is God. What he thought, he has done some offense to Saraswati, and Saraswati has punished him so badly. Why Saraswati would punish what? I am worshipping her very nicely. Why would she do? And that to a small boy like Nimai. Nimai was a smaller boy. This guy is, Keshav Kashmiri is actually quite old. So, through a small boy, I have been humiliated. And he is just a grammarian teacher. What have I done? So he will just worry so much, and then he will go and sleep, and in the night Saraswati will come and reveal to him. So he had a personal connection with Saraswati. That's why he was able to compose verses like this. Without being blessed like that, people cannot be very scholarly. So then Saraswati revealed that whom you are playing with, showing off your pride, that is, my dear, Krishna himself. Then Brahmana was, wow, I got a darshan of Krishna. You see, sakshatkar of Krishna you have got. Because of your pride. Sometimes it can happen. Krishna comes and removes your pride. That's great, because Krishna has come in front of you. So he was so touched by it, and his heart completely got changed, and he went and surrendered to Nimai. And then he became a devotee of Krishna after that onwards. So we will stop here. If you have any quick realizations, any questions you want to share with, you can share now.
Prabhuji, I just had one question, and thank you for wonderful class. Like, we were talking about being humble, so how do we actually implement that practically? Because in the material world, it's very difficult to become humble, then people might treat us like a doormat.
This echo? Okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear the echo. Looks like okay. So that's a very good question, Mataji. How we should become humble? People should not step over us. We become like a grass, then everybody will simply walk over us. That's not the humility we are talking about. If we have a particular quality, like maybe I'm a scholar in this, or I am good at a particular work I am doing, you acknowledge it. I have this good quality. Good. But what is bad is showing off to put down others. That is what is the Lord doesn't like. We need to show off in our company as well, that I have done this work. You need to create that optics in front of your manager, otherwise your manager won't even know that you have done this work. You have skills, you need to show off, you have to market yourself. Those are all good, but what is the intention? The intention is to, I want to do my work properly and get rewarded for that particular thing. That is good. But if my whole intention is to put down another person, bring him down, that is where we need to follow humility. We should think that these qualities are given by Lord. If he wants any time, he will just take it from me. We will face that often in very our life. One moment I'll just be able to solve a bug in the software, next moment I'll be just scrambling for how to solve this bug for many days. We may get humiliated by others as well. So we need to remember ourselves, we are very small. So we don't want to use our opulence to bring down other person. So we behave friendly with people who don't have that kind of quality, who are lesser than us. So by becoming friendly with them, those things, if somebody is trying to insult us, then that is a different thing. Then it depends on your nature. If your nature is to fight back, you can fight back. If your nature is to tolerate it, you can tolerate it. That depends on different people's nature. Sometimes not too much fighting is not good. The main thing is that we want to bring other people to Krishna consciousness. They look at us, this person is very nicely behaving, maybe his religion might also be very good. That is a good thing, rather than if they think this person is so arrogant, I what kind of religion he might be following, I will not be never interested, like that. They should not think like that. At least that kind of impression. If somebody is unnecessarily insulting us, depending on our nature, we can fight back, or we can stop at it and tolerate it.
Right. And probably, I think my voice is echoing.
Now, go ahead now.
Oh, okay. So the question is like at times, I forgot the question. So at times, like when we try to even, uh, I totally missed it. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
don't remember it.
no problem. Take your time. Then even if when you remember it later, also you can ping me. So next is Keshav Chopra Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hari Bol,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I am a student of Bhagavad Gita, and I have learned two things: how to be humble, and there is one word, manushya. Like for the last 5 years, I was struggling to know the word manushya. So in meditation, I think Bhagwan Purushottam Krishna gave me the answer. I don't know how, I did not see his face, but my understanding, being a student of Bhagavad Gita, is that he gives transcendental knowledge. So what about Manushya? He told me, Manushya loke Manushya, मन की आशा, I'll be speaking Hindi, मन की आशाओं का बंधा हुआ and सैकड़ों फांसियों से फंसा हुआ. So once the second part, सैकड़ों फांसियों come on, a question came up, what does this mean, second फांसियों? So instantaneously the answer came. And the example cited stuck in my mind was, with his blessing, what is that? Bhisham Pitama. After, like 101 years earlier life, 101 earlier life, he was a Rajkumar prince, and he killed a snake and threw it on the tree of Berika Ped. And he was living there for long period of time. So for that reason, he had to go for that. तीरों की छैयों पे for 6 months period of time. So that convinced me मन की आशाओं का बधा and सैकड़ों फांसियों में फंसा हुआ is मनुष्य. And this is what मनुष्य लोका is. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Okay, so if there is no more questions, we'll stop here. Thank you, Ashwin.
Actually, can you hear echo from my side, Prabhu?
I cannot hear. Probably it is my laptop, I guess. Now try. Are you able to hear? Are you hearing echo?
No, when I speak, then I hear. Okay, now it is good.
Yeah, I reduced the volume. Go ahead.
So, Prabhu, this particular topic is very apt for you, specifically for you, who is a Sanskrit Pandit. So, you explained the various nuances of, that particular, that Mahatvam Gangaya, right? That verse which Nimai Pandit Prabhu had memorized it, right? Srutita.
Thank you, Prabhu.
He never gave any indication that he is God.
What is that? What is that? You never?
Nimai Pandit, when that initial conversation was happening with Kashmiri Pandit, he never gave any indication that he is God.
Yeah.
It was revealed to him. It was revealed to him by Mother Saraswati that you are actually having a discussion with my master. How can I see that you defeat my master? Right? So that is a very interesting thing, right?
So say therefore she has put purposefully false in that shloka.
Yes, yeah. She actually twisted his tongue, Keshav Kashmiri's tongue to bring those words out. And, but all throughout the conversation, I think you rightly mentioned that even towards the end, Mahaprabhu is saying that almost all poems are false. Right? So he's sort of kind of consoling him. It is fine if I found faults in your verse, you should not feel bad. Because all poems are faults. I think what he was trying to indicate that over the years he developed a lot of pride.
Yeah.
I think that is where his end was. And to come to Krishna consciousness, pride is one thing you have to give up. Otherwise, if you have pride, you cannot even take the first step of Krishna consciousness. You will be struggling with one.
Yeah.
That is the point he was making.
Yeah, well, thank you for very nicely summarizing it and bringing out the essence.
I just repeated what you said.
I repeated what Kaviraj Goswami said. But thank you, Prabhu. So, we'll stop here. Thank you, devotees, for joining. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhye vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Kori Vaishnav ki jai. Hare Krishna, Arvind Lal Prabhu.
Vraja Jivan Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, devotees, taking time from your busy lives to join this Wednesday online Bhagavad Gita class. We will join again in next week, Wednesday, same time. Saturday and Sunday, Saturday morning and Sunday evening, we have class in our temple, and we also have one class. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.